about my makeup look for today. I'm a little bit tipsy, so yeah. But I think my makeup looks pretty good still. If it looks like shit, let me know. So I prime my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I use the Dewdrop lip oil on my lips, and then I just use the Dior powder as per usual. And I did film this look, so you guys will see everything that I use in that video, but I used the Natasha Denona Yucca palette again because I had to, but I just got the Nomad palette in the mail right here, so I'm really excited to use that tomorrow. So today I wanted to use some of the green mattes in this palette, so I used the shade Akia first. I didn't end up using Camo because I didn't think it really went. And then I used the shade Willow to darken up the crease, and I love that shade. And then I used Calathea on the outer corners. And then I used the shade Macchia all over the lid, and it was gorgeous. And then that was all that I used from the palette because I wanted to go in with another palette for the lower lash line and the inner corners. So I just used like 4 shades from this, but it was still gorgeous. And then I used Blanc Type on the brow bone, and then for my lower lash line and inner corners, since I was going to see Little Mermaid today, I wanted to wear my Little Mermaid Hot Topic dress. I love this dress. It's so cute. I don't even remember the last time I wore this, but I wanted to wear it today. So I went in with the It's a Princess Thing palette from ColourPop because what better thing to go in with than ColourPop, because that's most of the Disney themed makeup that I own. Why is that so reflective? So I used the 2 Ariel shades that are in here because there's like 2 shades per princess in this palette. So I used the shade Triton on the lower lash line. Beautiful. And then I used the shade Thingamabob on the inner corners. Look at that silver shade. Like, isn't that insane how pigmented that is? And it's still super blinding and pigmented. It's amazing how long it lasts. I love that shade so much, but I had to use those 2 shades because I was seeing the movie. So, and then for my lower lash line and my eyeliner, I just used the Makeup by Mario liner in the shade Black. Then I used my Essence Lash Primer, and then I used the Gwen Stefani Can't Stop Staring mascara. And then I used my Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes as per usual. And then I just used my Stay Primer to prime my face. And then for my foundation, I used my Holy Grail, the Lancome Taint Idol Ultra Wear Foundation in the shade 1090 Ivory N. And then for my concealer, I used the Tarte Power Flex, of course. I love this concealer. In the shade 8S Porcelain Sand. And then I just set my under eyes and everything with the Pat McGrath powder. And then I used my Dior powder to set my face. And then for my bronzer, I used the ColourPop Alviva Beach just because I really wanted to use this bronzer today. And plus it was called literally because it had beach in the name. So I wanted to use it today. So love this bronzer so much. And it's like one of my all-time favorite bronzers. And then for my blush and highlight, I went in with 2 from the Midnight Masquerade collection from ColourPop. Why is my hair like being weird? So I used the Enchanted Mirror blush from the ColourPop collection. I love this blush so much. I've used this blush like so many times, and it's such a beautiful color. It's Belle's color. And then for my highlight, I used Aurora's shade in the shade Coronation, and it's such a beautiful like peachy highlighter. I've used this highlighter like so many times. Sorry, I keep on blinding you. That's so annoying. But it's such a beautiful highlighter. And then I just set my face with my Milk Makeup Spray. What else is new? And then I just used my e.l.f. Wow Brow for my brows. And then I keep on misplacing my lipstick for some reason. I don't know why. Should be in here somewhere. And then for my lip liner, I used ColourPop's BFF liner. Where the hell is it? Why didn't I just drop it into the pocket every single time? Hold on one second. Sorry, I don't know why that's such a mission. And then I used the shade Ariel, obviously, from the ColourPop It's a Princess Thing collection. Used this lippy like 10 million times, but I really wanted to use it today for the movie, obviously, because it's the only Ariel lippy that I own, so. And it's such a beautiful nude. So yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys for another look tomorrow. Sorry I was all over the place, but drinking is not illegal here, so I'm 34 years old, so I'm allowed to enjoy a cocktail. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. The movie was really good, by the way. You should go see it if it's still available in your town or your state, because it was really, really good. She was amazing. I loved it. So yeah, I'm such a Disney freak, so I'll see every single Disney movie till the end of time. So bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I just used my ColourPop eye primer, my Dewdrop lip oil, and then I just set my eyes with my ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. And then I went in with the brand new Nomad palette today. This is the Okavango Safari palette. I keep on butchering that name. So yeah, I really wanted to use it today because I just got it in the mail yesterday. So I wanted to do first impressions on it. So this whole look is on a first impressions video, but I just want to tell you guys what I used. So I just wanted to stick with the neutral row today. So I basically just used this whole entire top row. So I went in with Towering Giraffes in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Elusive Leopards. And then I used Pack of Wild Dogs on the outer corners. And then for my lid shade, I went in with the orange shade called Roaring Lions. It's a really pretty bronzy shade. And then for the lower lash line, I just went in with Elusive Leopards again to smudge on the lower lash line. And then for the inner corners, I used the shade Leaping Leeches. And it's a really pretty peach shade. And that's my look for today. So yeah, it was a pretty palette. Not like obsessed with it, but you guys will see my video on it. And then I just went in with Blanc Type on the brow bone, as per usual. And then for my face, I just used my Say primer, as always. And then for my tinted moisturizer, I wanted to use the Rare Beauty one. So this is the Positive Light Tinted Moisturizer, Broad Spectrum SPF 20 in the shade 10N. So I haven't used that in a while, so I wanted to use it today. And then for my concealer, I used the Hello Fab Bendy Avocado Concealer. This concealer is really good in the shade 0.5. And then for my face, I just set my face with my Pretty Fresh powder, and I set my under eyes with the Rare Beauty powder because I wanted to use the Rare Beauty today because I haven't used it in a little while. And then for my liner, I just went in with the LA Girl liner in the shade brown. And then for my mascara, I just used the Act Natural mascara from ColourPop. And then I just went in with my Essence Lash Primer and my Lash Discovery from Maybelline, as always. And then for my bronzer, I used the Ilia bronzer in the shade Drawn In. This is the Night Light Bronzing Powder. I always say nighttime in the shade Drawn In. And then for my blush, the top kind of came off today, but I used the shade Madly from NARS. It's just such an easy, like, neutral blush. And yeah, I love it. I've used that blush for years. And then for my highlight, I wanted to go in with one of the Nomad highlighters. I've used this highlighter a ton, but it's like one of my all-time favorite highlighters. It's so gorgeous. If I could open this, that would be great, because I don't want to break. Okay, there we go. I went in with the shade Midnight Sun. I love Nomad's highlighters. I wish they would make more because they are always super stunning. It's just like a gorgeous gold highlighter, so I love this highlighter. And then I just set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray, as always. And then I just used my ColourPop Brow Blush Gel in the brows. And then for my lips, I used the shade What's Your Sign from ColourPop, my all-time favorite nude. So yeah, that's it. I gotta go to my boyfriend's now. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. It's a bit late, and I'm tired as hell. So yeah, I primed my face with, I primed my eyes with my Anastasia eye primer, and then I used my Dewdrop lip oil, and then I set my eyes with my Urban Decay powder, but I used a different powder on my face. But I'll tell you guys in a minute what that was. So for my eyeshadow today, I wanted to go back into the Simply Posh palette, the Citrus Punch palette. And I used most of the pink shades today on my upper lash line. And honestly, it looks, my upper eye, and it looks so pretty still. Like, this is still so super pigmented. Like, I love the quality of this palette so much. So I went in with Quench first, then I darkened out the crease more with Grapefruit, and then I used Blood Orange on the outer corners, and then I put Flavorful all over the lid. And then for my lower lash line, I used Lime. And then for my inner corners, I wanted to go in with Lush, and I love it. It looks gorgeous. So just love this palette. So I'm really glad I went into this palette. I was going to use the Nomad palette today, but I just really wanted to go back into this palette again. So I'm glad that I did. I'll probably use the Nomad palette tomorrow and Saturday. And then for my... Then I just used Blanc Type on the brow bone, and then for my waterline, I used ColourPop's Cream Gel Liner in the shade Aglow, and then I used the Essence Lash Primer, and then for my mascara, if I could find it, I don't know if it's like right on top or not, I just used the sample size of the Item Beauty Lash Snack Lengthening Mascara. I really wish I would have picked up a full size of this when the brand was still at Sephora, but it's not anymore. But I kind of kicked myself for not getting a full size because I love this mascara. And then I used the Lash Discovery, of course, by Maybelline on my lower lashes. I went to a game night with my friends. Originally, we were supposed to do mini golf, but then plans kind of changed, so we ended up just doing another game night, but I haven't done a game night with them since before I went to California, so honestly, it was a great time. And then for my primer, I wanted to use the Milk Makeup Spray as my setting spray today, like, just to add a bit of hydration to my face. I need to pick up a backup of this soon, because I wanted to use my e.l.f. Power Grip Primer today, and it did hold up the foundation pretty well, but I just wanted to use a different primer today, and it was fine. And then for my foundation, I almost called this concealer. I'm a little tired and a little tipsy still. I used my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. I need to use this up because I don't feel like there's that much product in here, but I also haven't used this in a hot minute, but I wanted to use it today. And this is like such a full coverage foundation, and it still looks really, really good. I need to use it more often, though. I really love this foundation. And then for my concealer, I use the Cover FX Power Play Concealer in the shade N Fair 2. Love that concealer. And then I just set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath powder, and then I use the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder all over my face, because I used the foundation today. And then for my bronzer, I used the Marc Jacobs Tantric Omega Bronze Bronzer. I got this at Marshall's a while ago, but I wanted to use this today, so I used that. And then for my blush, I used the Becca, what is this called? The Luminous Blush in the shade Camellia. It's a really beautiful pink. So I just wanted to use that because it has more of like a luminescent finish. And then for my highlight, I just went into the Blend Bunny Noctilucent palette because I know whenever I don't know what highlighter I want to use, I always go into this palette, and I haven't used it in like a week or two. So I just mixed together. Why is that so reflective? I had a piece of hair, or have a piece of hair in my mouth. And then for my highlight, I used the shades Far Out and Philomena, and I just mixed those two together. And it's such a beautiful combo. I love this highlighting palette. It's always so gorgeous, so I just wanted to use that. And then I just set my face again with the Milk Makeup Spray. And then I just used the e.l.f. Wow Brow in my brows. And then for my lips, if I can find my lippy, it's right here. So I used this lippy, and I haven't used this in so long. I was like, I should use that. I had it on my desk for like a couple of days, so like I wanted to use it today when I wore like I just wore my Doctor Who tank, and it has like pink and green on the bottom. So I used the ColourPop liner in the shade Brink, which I also haven't used that in a while. And then I used the ColourPop, oh my god, are you kidding me? The Ultra Blotted Lip in the shade Doozy, which I haven't used in so long. And it's a really pretty pink color. So, yeah, that's everything. I need to go. I need to blow my nose. My nose is dying right now. I don't know why I'm still sick at this point, but yeah, I'm super tired. So I'll see you guys for another look tomorrow. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I did work today, and I have to say I love my eye look today. Like, when I tell you the eyeshadow palette I used, I am so much more impressed with this palette than I thought I was gonna be, but this brand always impresses me at some point. So for my eyes, I used the Anastasia eye primer, and then I just used my Dewdrop lip oil, and then set my eyes with my Dior powder, my Dior Backstage powder, and then I went in with the Nomad Okavango Safari palette. So I wanted to use this for the second time for today, and I wanted to use the green. So I basically just went down this row today. So the first time I did this row, and then the second time I did this row. So I think tomorrow I'm probably going to use the neutrals again. And we'll see what lid shade I want to use. So anyway, so yeah, I just went in with these 5 shades today. Oh, and I also used this one. So I went in with this shade first called Vumbura Plains. And oh my god, it's such a gorgeous green shade. It went on so beautifully. Like, I'm so obsessed with this eye look. And then for my crease, to define it, I used the shade Chief's Island. Again, a beautiful green shade. So pretty to define the crease. And then for the outer corners, I used the shade Rumbling Elephants. So pretty. And then for the lid, I wanted to use the shade Nile Crocodiles, and oh my god, it's just so pretty. And then I used Blonde Type on the Brow Bone by MAC. And then for my lower lash line, I wanted to go into the shade Moremi Game Reserve. It's such a beautiful, like, mustardy yellow. And then for my inner corners, I used the shade Keystone Termites. Kind of interesting name, but this look turned out so stunning. So I'm so excited to do more looks with this palette. So I've only used these 2 shades so far on the lid, but maybe we'll just go down the row. I'll probably use this one tomorrow. So yeah, really beautiful palette. I'm definitely changing my mind about this color story and the formula, and I think that this look definitely impressed me way more than the first one. I think also because my brushes were actually clean this time. So yeah, maybe I've been proven wrong. So then for my face, I primed with so I've been using my Milk Makeup Setting Spray as my priming spray, since I can't really use the Do It spray yet, because that one is scented. So since this one is like really sensitive for good for like sensitive skin, I use that. And then I just prime with my Save Primer, because I just wanted to use that, the Star Glow Super Gel Primer. And then I went in with a foundation I haven't used in a little while, because when I used this the last time, my face was so bad. The way it was like peeling and breaking out. I'm so glad that that went away. I still have a bit of dryness today, and I was a little bit red underneath my eyes this morning, and I'm kind of getting that redness back on my my neck, and I still have some bumps here too. So I have a dermatologist FaceTime appointment tomorrow, because I could not find any in-person appointments until like August, and I need to know what's going on with my face. So I used my Very Valentino Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 26 Light Lasting Perfecting Foundation in the shade Light R2. I haven't used this in a while, and I really wanted to use it today because I'm like, I miss using it, so I wanted to use that. Beautiful foundation. And then I used my LYS Triple Fix Concealer. Love this concealer in the shade LG3. And then I just set my face and my under eyes with my Pat McGrath powder, and then I use the Dior powder to set the rest of my face. Been using this a ton lately. Just want to use it up at some point. And then for my bronzer, I just wanted to go in with my Pat McGrath Labs bronzer, so that's what I use. And then for my blush, I use the Lawless Velvet Blush Make Me Blush in the shade Angel Suede. I just wanted to use that today. It's such a pretty color. I'm going to use this in a hot minute, so I wanted to use it today. And then for my highlight, I used one of my Rare Beauty highlighters. You know what's so funny is that I was going to bring this with me to California. Like, I was going to bring both of them, this one and Enlighten, and for some reason I didn't. I, like, totally forgot to bring them. But I ended up using the Jaclyn Hill palette, like, most of the time, but I haven't used this in a while either, so I wanted to bring it out today, and it's such a stunning golden highlighter. Then for my mascara and waterline and lashes, I just use my Makeup by Mario black liner, and then I use the Fenty Beauty mascara, and now I kind of understand why people, I mean, like, it's such a good mascara, but it does transfer like crazy on my under eyes every time I work now. So I don't think I'm going to use it anymore. Like, I've been using it for a straight, like, I think almost 3 months. So at this point, I can't return it. But, like, honestly, literally, after, like, 10 minutes, my under eyes are a complete mess at work. Like, not terrible, but you can see, like, black specks here. So I had to go over it with concealer. Now, of course, it's fine, but now I understand why people don't love this. It didn't do that when I first got it for like the first month or so. Like, it was not doing that. Because, like, sometimes I'll get like a bit of eyeshadow underneath my eyes, like from like the lower lash line eyeshadow that I decide to smudge on the lower lash line. But I know it's this mascara because it's like every time I wear it now. So, yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with that. And then I just used my favorite eyeliner, which is the black by Makeup by Mario. I love it. And then I just used my Essence Lash Primer and then the Lash Discovery Mascara by Maybelline, as always, on my lower lash line. And then for my lips, I forgot to set my brows today, so there's nothing in my brows. But, like, my brows aren't really going anywhere lately, so it's not really a huge deal. So I just set my face again with the Milk Makeup Spray, and then I used the ColourPop lip liner in the shade Ashton to line my lips. And then I use the shade, the Too Faced Peach Lipstick in the shade Sunday Funday. And I love this lipstick. It's such a pretty one. And I thought it was just a pretty color to go with this look. So I was originally going to use my Makeup by Mario Lip Suede, but I didn't really have time to apply it this morning because it was like 11:55 at that point and I had to get to work. So yeah, that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow for another look, and it's definitely going to be using the Nomad palette again because that's really the only palette I have to test out right now. So yeah, bye. Okay, so hey there guys, I just wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I just primed my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then just used my Dewdrop Lip Oil and then powdered my eyes with the Pretty Fresh powder. And then, like I said, I was going to go back into the Nomad Okavango Safari palette today because I wanted to do another look with it. So I mostly used, like, the cooler tones today, so I actually just used this entire row. That's so funny that I keep on just going down the rows and I, like, don't even realize it until after I'm done. But yeah, I mostly just used this row today. That's all I used. So I went in with, Crash of Rhinos today in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Rumbling Elephants, and then I used Honking Hippos on the outer corners, and then I used the shade Mighty Buffaloes all over my lid. It's a really pretty, like, cool tone brown. And then I just went in with Blanc Type on the brow bone by MAC, and then I just went in with Migrating Zebras on the inner corners. I didn't feel like smudging anything today, and it's a really pretty, like, silvery shade. And that's all I used from the palette today. So actually I've dipped into every shade at this point, and I've used these 3 shimmers on the lid. So I literally have just went down this row of shimmers. I need to use these 3 still, but I've used all of these on the inner corners, like, every time I've used these on the lid, so. And I've used all the matte shades at this point because the last matte shade I had to use was this one. I haven't used this one in the crease yet, but I'm planning to probably when I use, like, maybe the grayish tone silver. Well, not the grayish tone silver, like the more tarnished kind of goldy shade. So yeah, that's everything I used from the palette. Just really, really pretty look. I did have a little bit of trouble blending the crease shade, but then as it went on, it was fine after I started adding the other shades. So it just ended up blending pretty well. And then I used my LA Girl brown liner on my waterline, and then I used the Essence Lash Primer. And then for my mascara, I just went in with my Mega Length mascara by Wet n Wild. But honestly, I don't know if I really love this mascara anymore. I mean, I don't even know how old it is right now because I got it like months ago at this point. And it's kind of pretty dried out, so I'm probably just going to get rid of it. I mean, it's only like a $5 mascara. I think I got it like a few months ago at Five Below because it was only like $5 there, so. And then for my primer, I just used my Say Star Glow Super Gel Primer. Why can I never say that name? And then for my foundation, I went in with the Tarte C Water Foundation in the shade 8S Porcelain Sand, or just Porcelain. I love this foundation, but they discontinued this line in Sephora. But I don't think I'm going to repurchase it after I use it up. Like, I have the other C foundation too that I need to use up anyway. And then for my concealer, I just used the Lancome Teint Idol Ultra Wear Concealer in the shade Ivory N. I love this concealer. And then I just used the Becca Hydra Mist Powder to set my under eyes and then set my face again with the Pretty Fresh powder. And then for my bronzer, I used the Milani Baked Bronzer in the shade Dolce, one of my all-time favorites. And then for my blush, I used the Kat Von D blush in the shade Honeysuckle. This is one of my all-time favorite blushes. And I hadn't used it in a while, and I kind of like a little bit the warm peachy cheeks with the cooler tone eye. It just looks pretty sometimes. And then for my highlight, I went in with a really old one, but I love this highlighter still, so I went in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills, not this one. I had So Hollywood out, but then I went in with a cooler tone look, so I used the shade Starlight, and this is such a stunning highlighter. I don't know why they discontinued these. These were like the best highlighters they ever had. And then I just set, every brand always discontinues everything that's good. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Spray, and then I just used my ColourPop Brow Blush Gel on my brows. And then for my lips, I used the Becca Ultimate Lipstick Rouge in the shade Sugar, because I haven't used that in a while. It's kind of like a pinky tone nude, and it's a really pretty one. So yeah, that's it. I gotta go. So yeah, I'm going to go to my boyfriend's house, and then tomorrow I work. So yeah, bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I did work today. I think I am working again on Tuesday, but this will be like one of the only 2 work looks that I do this week. So not that that really matters because I still wear makeup almost every day anyway. So for my eyes today, I just used my Anastasia eye primer and then my Dewdrop lip oil, and then I set my eyes with my Urban Decay pressed powder, the Stay Naked powder, and then I combined the ColourPop Powerpuff Girls palette and the Lost in Wonderland palette. So I wanted to use a few shades from both of them. So with this palette, because I wanted to use ColourPop today and I wanted to do a bit of a blue look because I was wearing this shirt today. So for the shadows from here, I just took like 3 shades. I used the shade Crime Fighting in the crease, and I darkened up the crease more with Rowdy Rough Boys, and I also put that on the lower lash line. And then I went into the Alice palette, and I took the black shade in here, and I just used the shade Nothing's Impossible to define the outer corners. And then I wanted to use Down the Rabbit Hole all over the lid because I really wanted to use that shade again. So this is like my favorite shade in the palette. It's so pretty. And then I used a bit of Super Friends over that to top with the glitter. And I thought it looked really, really pretty, so I used that. And then for the inner corners, I just combined the shades I'm Late. This is, again, a beautiful, like, glitter for the inner corners. And then I used a little bit of Townsville from this palette, and I just topped it over that. And I think the look turned out really pretty. It was really easy, and I just used like I think I used 4 shades from this palette, and I used just 3 shades from the Alice palette. But I like the matte selection a little bit better in here, and I like the shimmer selection a little bit better in the Alice palette, because I'm not crazy about the mattes in here, but I wanted to whip this palette out again, so I got some use out of it, so that was good. And then for my waterline, I wanted to use the blue liner from ColourPop, if I can get it out of here. And then I just popped Blanc Type on the brow bone as per usual. So I used the turquoise cream gel liner in the shade Crystal Crush for the waterline, and then I used my Essence Lash Primer, and then I went in with the Wet n Wild Big Papa mascara, just because I wanted to use that. Because, like, every time I use the Fenty Beauty mascara, I do notice it starts to transfer now, so I kind of stopped using that, and now I've just been using the Wet n Wild one. Well, I've been using other mascaras, because the Fenty Beauty one is kind of, like, not looking great lately. And then for my, and then I just used my Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then for my face, I just I used my, oh my god, this is driving me fucking crazy already. Like, why does everything fall all the time? So I used my e.l.f. Power Grip Primer today. I almost always call this the Hydro Grip Primer, because it is a dupe for the Milk one, but I'm almost done with this. I'm going to have to get a new one soon, but I love this primer, so I wanted to use this today because my skin's been doing a little bit better. And then I just used the Milk Makeup Spray underneath that. And then I wanted to go in with a foundation that I haven't used in a little while, because I haven't used any scented foundations for a while. And I love this foundation so much. So I finally got to use my YSL All Hours foundation today in the shade B10 Porcelain. I haven't used this, I don't even know how long. This also expired in April, but it's totally fine, and so is the Valentino one. So I'm just going to try and use both of those up. And then for my concealer, I just went in with my Tried and True. Oh my god, I cannot speak right now. I'm so tired. I used my Tried and True Tarte C Power Flex Concealer in the shade 8S Porcelain Sand. And then I just set my face with I just set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder. And then I just used, again, my Urban Decay Stay Naked powder in the shade 10NN. I'm trying to use this guy up as well. I'm not putting any pressure on myself to use something up. I'm just using stuff up organically. And then for my bronzer, I haven't used this one in a while, so I used my NYX matte bronzer. I've had this sitting in front of me for like months, and I haven't used it in a while, so I used the shade Medium. I really love that bronzer. I've just been using like my Pat McGrath, my House Labs, and like my Gucci a lot, so... And then for my blush, I went in with the Powerpuff Girls blush. I've actually had this blush sitting in front of me for like a couple of weeks now, and I really wanted to dip back into it again. So I used the shade Saving the World because I used the palette, so I wanted to use the blush, and it still looks so good since I put it on this morning, so really love that color as well. And then for the highlight, I went into my Onanzai Soul Moon highlighter palette. I actually haven't used this in a hot minute, and I actually used this when I did my first impressions with this palette. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Like, this shirt is driving me nuts today. I don't know if I can wear this shirt anymore. I might have to give it away at some point, but it's such a cute shirt. So I just combined these two shades, like the more bluish color and then the whitish color. I cannot pronounce these names, but it's like, I don't even think they have this available anymore, but this is like a duochrome kind of blue-white, and this one is kind of like a really beautiful, like, goldish white. They're both so gorgeous, so I just combined the two, and it looks so beautiful. So I'm glad that I whipped this out today, because I haven't used it in a while. And then for, I just set my face with my Milk Makeup Spray, and then I just set my brows with my e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I used the ColourPop Lippy Sticks in the shade Cool BFF. And then for my lips, I used the Give by Gwen Stefani liquid lipstick. This is the Camo I'm Still Here liquid lipstick. I don't even know if that's, I think the shade name is Camo. So I used that, and then I topped it off with the Powerpuff Girls gloss in the shade Bubbles. So I'm glad I got to use some of this collection today because I haven't used it and I don't even know how long. So yeah. Probably tomorrow I'll either use the Natasha Denona Yucca palette, or I might just do another look with my Nomad palette. So we'll see. I cannot speak anymore, so I have to go. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look today, and I think today's look is going to be the last look for this Everyday Makeup Lookbook video. So for my eyes, I primed just with my ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then used my Dewdrop Lip Oil, and then just set my eyes with my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Powder. What else is new? And then I wanted to go in with the Natasha Denona Yucca palette again, and I wanted to do the last look that I wanted to do to test out the last shimmer in this palette. And honestly, I really do prefer the quality in this palette over the Nomad palette so far. I just think that this palette performs so beautifully, and the shimmers in here are just a lot more special than the ones in the Nomad palette, but I will save my thoughts until I test out the rest of the Nomad palette, because I still have 3 more shimmers to test out in there. But now I have tested this palette out fully. The only matte that I haven't used is this lime green. I just didn't have a look to use that with yet, or like it didn't really go with like anything or any of the other looks that I did. But I literally have used, I think, every shade in here except for that shade, and I love the quality of this. So first I started off with Akia, and then I just used Valley in the defining shade, and then I used Flax on the outer corners, and then for the lid I used the shade Elysian, and then for my brows I used Blanc Type by MAC. Just give me a second. Okay, and then for my waterline I just used the shade LA Girl. Use the LA Girl liner in the shade brown on my waterline. And then I just used my, oh my god, this like thing is like packed to the brim with products lately, and it just falls all the time every time I take something out of it. It's so annoying. And then I just used my Essence Lash Primer, and then for my mascara I just used the ColourPop Act Natural Defining Mascara on my top lashes, and then I used the Maybelline Lash Discovery on my bottom lashes. And then for my bronzer, I used the ColourPop Matte Bronzer in the shade Alviva Beach, and I just used that to bronze up my skin. And that's what I, go into like 99% of the time anyway. And then for my blush, I wanted to go in with just a ColourPop blush. I kind of just made the rest of the face a little bit peachy toned. I'm not sure if it exactly goes together, but I think it looks really pretty, so I don't know if you guys like it, but I just ended up matching my blush to my lipstick because that's usually what I do anyway. But I just really wanted to use this. Oh wait, I didn't say what I used for my face. I got so distracted. Hold on. So I primed my face with my Say primer, of course, the Star Glow Super Gel Primer. And then for my tinted moisturizer, I used the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. I actually haven't used this in like a few weeks. And this one is the shade, it's the lightest shade that they offer. And I forgot like how good it makes my skin look. Like every time I go back into a like face product that I haven't used in a while, and also because again my skin condition was just like so bad on my face, but like it's been getting way better, so I've been able to wear like the face products that I haven't been able to wear in the past few weeks, and this just looks so good on the skin, so I'm glad I whipped that out. And then for my concealer, I used the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in the shade Fair Beige. I really like this concealer too. I've been using it for years. And then for my setting powder, I just used the Becca Hydra Mist Powder, and then I just set my face again with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Powder. And then I put on the ColourPop Matte Bronzer. And then for my blush, I used the ColourPop Pressed Powder Blush in the shade Chase. And I really love this shade. It's just a really beautiful like peachy color, but it's not like too orangey. So I just wanted to use that today. I'm just kind of like on a little bit of a ColourPop kick with blushes again, because I have so many ColourPop blushes anyway, so I like to use them whenever I can. And then for my highlight, I went into a highlighter that I was on a huge kick on when I first got it, and then I just kind of haven't worn it in a while. Just because, you know, I try to rotate as many highlighters as possible. I have so many highlighters and blushes that it's like hard to rotate them regularly and use them all. So I try to use what I can. So today I went in with the Rem Beauty highlighter top or top coat. I don't know why it's called that. In the shade Miss Mercury. I just use it as a regular highlighter. And it's just so pretty and smooth on the skin. And it's just a really pretty, like, really light champagne-y highlighter. So that's what I used today. And then I just set my face with my Milk Makeup setting spray as per usual. And then I just set my brows with my e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I just used a drugstore lippy that I haven't used in a long time. This is the L'Oreal Color Riche lipstick in the shade 983 Limose Taupe. Or Utmost Taupe. I think it's called Utmost Taupe. Not Tote. And it's just such a pretty formula. I really have enjoyed this lipstick over the past few years. It still smells good, so it's still pretty good to use. Like, this one is probably one of my most long-lasting drugstore lipsticks. Like, it really has not went bad at all. And yeah, that's it. So I think that's the end of this lookbook, because yeah, Tuesday was the first look, and today is Monday, so that is 7 days, so that is a full week's worth. So I will see you guys for another lookbook next week. So yeah, I love you guys. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at Tavito819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. Let me know if you guys have tried any of these palettes and what your thoughts are. Bye!